Add front end web development and back end web development. Yesterday we looked at cybersecurity and game development. And I hope you guys enjoyed it for those of you who attended the session. So today we'll be looking at two other tracks, that's technical writing and UI design. So we'll just wait for a few minutes for others to join, then we'll begin the session. For those of you just joining us, we'll start soon. Waiting for other people to join, then we can begin the first session. We'll be looking at technical writing and UI design today. Okay, welcome everybody to today's session. Our first speaker is already here with us. So, like I said earlier, today we'll be looking at technical writing and UI design. So, our first speaker is Abdulaziz Adeshino. He is a technical author, a software developer, occasional genius, and Dumbo. When he's not writing or solving problems on LeetCode, he's reading books on psychology. So Abdulaziz will be taking us on technical writing today. Abdulaziz?
So thank you, Usaiba. How you guys doing? How's everyone doing? Please let me know if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good. Okay. Great. Okay, so I'll be starting first. Can I present my screen?
Sure.
Cool. Mm, Okay. Okay. So thank you for having me on this platform. I'll be talking briefly on what technical writing is all about, and I'll start with introduction. My name is Abdulaziz, like Musaiba said. I am a technical author majorly, and sometimes I write code, and most times I do nothing. Yeah, so I also contacted a couple of companies such as Smashing Magazine, Log Rocket, and Test Driven. I used to write for Auth Zero at in 2018 rather. So I'll move on to what technical writing is all about. And in simple words, it is a descriptive essay about a subject. It could also be comparative or an argumentative. When I say descriptive essay, I'm assuming that you are trying to explain a subject to the readers. When it is comparative, it means you are trying to compare maybe libraries together or tools. For example, we have React versus Vue and Angular and the likes. That is an example of a comparative essay. Descriptive essay, for example, is how to build a to-do list using React or Vue. Oh, speak louder, sorry. So, like I was saying earlier, technical writing is all about explaining a subject or a topic to your potential readers. It could be descriptive, comparative, or even argumentative. But most times we look at the descriptive part because that is what we do. How to add schools, how to build X, and how to build Y. And when we are comparing, it's really amongst libraries or tools. Now, technical writing isn't all about tutorials and everything. Documentation is also part of technical writing and even product writing. When you build APIs and you have like product documentation of what you're building, that's an example of that too. So, of course, there have to be guides on how you can become a technical author also. And honestly speaking, it is quite very simple and straight to the point. The first thing is you have basic understanding of English and the rules of grammar. I believe everyone here passed through like primary, secondary school. You don't have to go to university or study English to be a technical author. And you know, that is like the very, very important part. You need to be able to like understand English, except you're writing another language that you're confident in. You also need to have an understanding of the subjects you will be writing about. I don't expect you to write on React if you've never used it before. And the ability to explain certain concepts to your readers without complicating it further is very important. The main purpose why we have technical writing is to simplify processes of build or design process, architecture, anything to people. This is the technical writing is not only for record keeping. Most times it is for directing young and upcoming developers. and to share how you build something. Of course, patience. In everything we do, you have to be patient. Writing is actually very stressful. You can rewrite a draft 100 times if you do not get it initially. Notwithstanding, you still have to be patient for you to write correctly. Then sincerity. Honestly speaking, most content companies run checks against plagiarism, and some do not. However, it is up to you as an author to be sincere with your work and not give false information, copy someone's code or article and present it as yours. You are like taming your integrity. And of course, you need to know how to write essays because you can't just write 2 or 3 lines and say you presented it as a technical article. The minimum I've seen most times is usually 750, and the maximum I've seen is maybe 10,000 words. So nobody wants to read a 10,000 word article, so we break it into segments. So you're a total beginner, I assume. So of course, Google has a way of doing everything, and they made life easier for everybody. And they have a detailed guide on technical writing. Also, I think Edith Young and Bolaji also have guides on technical writing as well. You could check them out. So, how do you go about technical writing? Of course, you cannot just wake up a day and decide to start writing for companies without prior experience. The first thing you have to do is to start small. I've seen a couple of content writers, engaging in this 30-day or X days of writing using Hashnode and other publication companies. That's a very good start. You start by writing maybe your thought process on how you build X project or Y project, or how you think you can do this and do that. Then you share your links to, your community, the DS, for example, Twitter developer community, your mutuals, and you can even send it to me and ask for a review or other people that you know that actually write. So they will give you feedbacks, and from there you learn, pick 1 or 2 things, and you're good to go. After a couple of articles with positive feedback, you can start applying to companies because they will always ask to see your work. That will judge you, they will take your notes. Everyone has a writing process. The writing process actually differs from each author to, like, from me, I can write differently. Maybe another author will write differently. But the general process is to pitch an idea. And to pitch an idea, you need to come up with a topic idea first. Okay, I want to write on how Redux is better than MobX, or how using the context API is much more better than using Redux in simpler projects. That's the topic idea. Now I have to pitch. In your pitch, you have to like write a quick summary of what you want to talk about. And after that, you have an outline. An outline is this is an example of a pitch. An outline is you listing out what you want to talk about. I can also call it table of contents. That is okay. I want to talk about X. Under X, I will talk about the pros and cons of using the context API. I will talk about maybe the fact that I have to always call the context API consumer method in every component I want to use it, and why I should use it instead. Okay, I want to talk about Redux, brief history about Redux, why you should use Redux, why you shouldn't, and whatnot. So you work on your first draft after your pitch has been accepted. Some companies take a week to attend to your pitch. Sometimes you have to like write your pitch and work on it again. And then you begin your editorial process after writing your draft. Mostly this draft is you putting your content, your table of content or your outline to work. That means you're going to write at least 300 word under a section. Okay, what is the context API? It is an internal like method from the React team that enables you manage your state globally. You write, you give an example of your context API and so on. And after you begin your editorial process, that means you and your editor will have to be in sync. You have to talk about, okay, at this point, this is what I meant to explain. You give your editor more explanations of what you write. Sometimes your editor might not be a developer like you, most times actually. So it is your job to make sure your editor helps you paraphrase your work perfectly so you don't like go and deliver wrong content outside. And next thing is to pass the plagiarism test because some people actually copy and paste. Unfortunately, it is the editor's job and the company's job to run your work through the preparing test. So if your work passes, of course, you get published. And once your job is published, and once your article is published, depending on who you wrote for, you get paid. It could be a volunteer article, so you get paid in prayers and in good work too. So of course, every every technical author have tools that we use. I personally use Dropbox Paper. It is like an editor. You can use Markdown, and because I like writing in Markdown, I use Dropbox Paper. I use GitHub for managing my code samples most times because when I have an article that has to do with building X, maybe building is let's okay, for example, I want to write an article on how to build a to-do list using React. The first thing I would do is to build my code sample first. So I'll store it on GitHub so I can make pull requests to review changes and whatnot. And then I begin the draft on Dropbox Paper. And after writing the draft on, I could also decide to write on Grammarly, since Grammarly is a service that enables that ensures that I write content that adhere to strict grammar rules and is quite understandable. So I could write on Grammarly and transfer to Dropbox. As a technical author, your article should pass at least 98 over 100 in Grammarly. I do not say it is a must, but it is actually very good. Your article crosses the 90 score on Grammarly. I think my lowest is 94 most times. There is Trello because sometimes I might have like 10 to 20 articles I want to write in a year. I use a Trello board to organize the content under different headings. I can have a heading for the one I'm to send a pitch for, the one I am to submit, and the one I have to release a draft, and the one I have to publish. So that is the use of Trello board. Therefore, Excalibur on my personal blog most times, I have to like illustrate for the readers who have a graphical, a visual understanding of what I'm trying to pass on. So I use Excalibur to draft or like to just quickly illustrate a concept. Well, I believe we are in tech for money most times. I mean, so yes, the market for technical writers is actually very good, very very. An article ranges from $100 to $600. Some company pay more than that, but the highest I've seen so far is Clubhouse for $600. However, I believe in quality over quantity. Honestly speaking, if you write on your personal blog, for example, and you just like on your 30-day of writing, you write just mediocre content or content that are not worthy of like, you know, of job like, I read your articles and I'm like, this is not how it should be done. Or an article that should be written in just one like page, you split into 10 pages, it's not worth it. If the quality of your article is very good, you will surely get people coming to you. I'll give you a short story. When I was writing, I started writing in December 2017, just like at community post at scotch.io. Then I had only two articles then. So in 2018, the manager for technical writing at Odell actually reached out that my content were actually nice and he offered to pay for the articles I write instead. So I believe if I just written contents that were just like how to build X and I split into, into sub components, I wouldn't have gotten such opportunity. So quite the companies I've written for that I know personally will pay you. Smash Magazine, we have Log Rocket, Twilo, we have Test Driven, and there are a couple of others. Or Zero also takes content writers. I think Fauna also. I we check for an exhaustive list. I think there's one I could not find it because of making this draft, but I'll find it later. And actually, that is it. The technical writing is just an interesting part of tech for those who are willing to dive into it. I personally just like writing. So instead of just sitting at home and since I could write and get paid, why not? And it usually serves as reference purposes. You may not know, but you might need your articles in the future. And some experiences are quite unique. How you solve a problem might be different from how another person solves it. So most times I get questions about authors saying, can I write on this topic? Even if we have more people on that topic, more like content. It doesn't mean you should write on your own. like terms. You don't have to even copy or emulate other people. I see some content authors like try to mirror a particular person. I am not saying this is a bad idea, but actually your style should be unique, but follow the rules and regulations of writing. That's just basic rules of grammar. In the meantime, you could take your time to research and read all my articles. If you Google my name, you find everything. And okay, this is the end. And I would like to receive questions on parts that are not clear. And so yes, I just looking at the Meet link. You can drop your questions here. I'll actually be able to answer a few of them. Yeah, thank you. I'll stop presenting now.
Thank you very much, Abdulaziz. That was a very
Okay.
interesting session. So if you have any questions, please you can drop it in the chat box and we'll be able to answer it. So we have a question here. What's the main difference between content writing and technical writing?
Okay, that's quite interesting. So it depends on what you call content. In general, content writing has to do with writing in general. But most times we see content authors are people that write for media and everything. Honestly, they're all under the same thing. Technical writing is just more about a subject. Content is like the parent. Like I say, technical writing is under content writing. I might be wrong, actually. I believe that should be it. So, is technical writing basically more research, tech research, or design research? Actually, you could put it that way, but most times it's about sharing experiences or like teaching how to. You could also research on a particular subject to write about. So it is actually like research. It could be about design, it could be about system architectures, and it could be about solving a problem too. So it is valid. So if I write essays well in school, do you think I can be? Of course, I believe you can be a technical writer, like a very good one, if you practice. However, essays in secondary school are quite different, but the knowledge of essays in secondary school is actually very good, or whatever school you're actually talking about, could be university. So yes, if you're actually good at writing essays, you won't have issues, writing technical article. I think one of the reasons why I am actually very good. Oh, I'm actually good. Yes, technical also was because essay writing was part of my favorite thing in school. So I do not find it hard writing. So yes, it's you can be a good one if you put your mind at it.
Okay, I have a question as well. Do you how consistently should you write as a technical writer? Like if you have your own blog, should you be writing weekly or monthly?
Okay, that's an interesting question. It depends, honestly. You do not have to write every time. You should write at your convenient time. And when you feel you've gathered enough like research materials for your article. Most times I write weekly on my personal blog, sometimes monthly, sometimes when I feel like it is best to write when you have enough research materials or content for your article. So there's no pressure. You don't have to write every day. So do you feel everyone can go into technical writing and do well, or just skills and practice? Actually, everybody can go into technical writing. Like I said, it is better to start small, have a personal blog and practice. Practice here means writing and taking feedback from people and your mutuals. So you work on feedback, you read other people's articles to, understand how they write, and of course, you'll be very good at it. So skills and practice, I don't. It is a skill. Writing is a skill, and actually it depends on practice, honestly speaking. But some people are quite talented, so you might just like go into it and it becomes easy for you. So how many minutes read is suited for an article? Well, for me, the minimum read should be 5 minutes, and the maximum for me should be at most 20 minutes. Although it depends. Articles that are greater than 20 minutes should be like broken down into bits, like maybe we have part articles or better still a video content. Reading can be exhausting, I know. So I think the minimum should be 5 and the maximum for me should be 20. Can I write on Medium or any other platform instead? Yes, yes, you can write on Medium or any other platform. I think the one I see mostly is this hash node. I don't know about it like that, but I've seen a couple of people using it. Right? So I think yes, you can write on any one of your preferred choice. At what age did I start writing in general? Okay, let me see. 2017. What was it? Okay, I started writing at 15, and basically 3 years now. Yes.
Good one, good that one, good that one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Good
Sir,
afternoon, sir.
please, if I want to also become a technical writer, what are the steps you would advise one should take?
Okay, smooth. So you want to become a technical writer. The first step is you understanding basic rules of English. Like I said earlier, the rules of grammar and understanding English. And most times you need to understand active and passive voices and the use of adjectives and pronouns generally. Now, and after you understand basic rules of English, you could just like get a very brief course on essay writing, honestly speaking, general essay writing. Then after that, like I said, start a personal blog or just write on a free publication for you to practice as a means of practice. And after that, begin applying. Take feedback. Feedback is actually very necessary from people. Ask people, what do you not understand? What do you think I should have explained better? What do you think I should have, written more? Where should I have written less? Sometimes we make the mistake of duplicating things and complicating simple things. If you believe something is easy enough, do not complicate it. If you cannot explain a concept very well, just add a shallow explanation and a link to a much more better article that explains it perfectly. I do this all the time. If I'm writing an article and I don't have to explain every part of the concept, I attach anybody's article and give credit to the person that you can visit here to understand more about this and that. So basically, that is the process. So talking about writing in general, okay. So, Ella, you said so. Talking about writing generally, you Nigeria, what you writing right now? Honestly speaking, I don't have an idea if we have Nigerian companies that take technical writers. Unfortunately, we don't. Fair enough. Nigerians don't value writers or writers. I can't really say. I think depends, honestly, but we are naturally gifted, and most of the technical writers I know are usually Nigerians. So technical writer is a part of tech, and if we look at it, the tech ecosystem in Nigeria is mostly filled with young people, and so I don't think that's particular to us. We value writings because explanations and yes, I think we do. I don't think it's particular to technical writing. What advice would you give people within your age group? People within my age group. Interesting. Well, since I am an adult now, um, actually there is nothing with like age group. Just like write, share your work, take feedback, and work on your feedback. That is the only thing. Consistency is also very like much needed. I do not say you should always write every day. Write at your convenient time, and it is actually okay to not know how to explain something. Ask for help. Send your article for review before publishing. Send it again for feedback after publishing. So, can we send our writings to you? Of course, please. Of course, please. You can actually tweet at me if my account is not locked. Otherwise, just like send a mail, and of course, I will be very, very happy to help you review your writing. How do you do criticism writing? Every form of feedback is important, whether criticism, you know, anyone. You take it, you look past the criticism in the like feedback and focus on what the person is trying to get. If the critic, like the criticism in a comment, I will assume it's a comment or a feedback is too much, it is best to ignore it and work. on the different parts. Okay, so my mail will be here. So yes, please, I will be expecting more questions if you do have. Um, there's no like you could ask your questions. I have time to answer them. And for those of you who are just starting out in technical writing, please, I would love to see your draft prep session. Please, you can mail me and or text or like send me a DM on Twitter. I'll try my best to answer you. How many years of web or mobile development did you have before I ventured into technical writing? Hmm, that's quite interesting. Okay, so basically, I'll say at that time, I think I had about 3 years. And yes, I used to write before I became a software dev, but not technical writing. So I had about like 3 years, like working on the web before I started technical writing. And yes,
If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box.
can can technical writing in Nigeria put food on the table? Definitely, definitely. Currently, I okay. So I personally do not have a job in like software dev directly. It's actually stressful for me. But yes, you could max $1,000 per month writing, honestly speaking. And yes, as it puts food on the table. I think it's safe to say I like finance myself with writing. Just come again. Yes, please. Some people some people like I myself actually write for a living at this time because it is less stressful than me writing code for a company, sha. So of course you can put food on the table. If you write for the like right publications, you could do a minimum of $1,000 per month. I am not saying you can do that. You could. So if you put in the work, of course you can do that or even more than. But like I said, you need to start somewhere before you get to that point. For my number, I would actually like to know disclose it here. So you could text me and on Twitter, and that would like be the best thing. Is that a part of technical writing, my dear? Because I'm not sure I've gotten like that that topic under technical writing yet. So I think I should give a brief rundown on the monetary part of writing. I'm just going to give more insight on what Khalid asked. So yes, I said you could like make money, but there are some things attached again. Interestingly, we do not really pay tax for writing in some places, and so except you write for companies that remove tax, I don't know about that. But if you write for a company, the minimum you get paid is about $100, and depends on the company. I actually prefer writing for companies that have very fast editorial processes. Sometimes you could write one article for a month, and the maximum I've done is 5 articles in a month. You know, so I can like. I think yeah, basically you can make more money depends on how much you write and how much quality content. Right? You can also not just pitch a topic anyhow. Just look at the relevancy of the topic at the moment and if it's going to bring more readers. And Arafa, I have no words. I haven't written on everything. That is one thing. That someone else has written about a topic does not mean you should not write on it. There's always an article for what you want to write. So the best thing is to write your own to be much more better than theirs. Take a look at other articles and look at what they feel to explain better or put into like a better context, and you do much more better in your own articles. I think that is best thing. How do I know what to write? And okay, some companies have topic list, or we call it idea board, and you could choose. You could also choose on. You could also like pitch an idea. So what you need to look at is maybe the new release of tools. Usually the hot topics in React, for example, is usually about state management, UI libraries, and building maybe some what do you call it? Some little components. I don't think anyone will pay for anything on React. Actually, most of my articles are React based. It's safe to say like React has been paving the way for me to get money. But I'm actually broke at the moment, so yes. Okay, an introduction to React at this moment in 2020. I'm not really sure about that because we have like thousands and React is already old. It is best to have articles on building something React or React and another technology. Say React and Laravel, React and maybe Fast API, React and Django, React and maybe Deno or something else. An introduction to React in 2020 is a no. Don't think anybody's going to allow you like that. My Twitter is this. So my favorite magazine to write for. Honestly, at the moment, I don't think okay, my favorite has to be Log Rocket because my editor is like the most amazing one I've like worked with. So I think Log Rocket is my favorite publication. Does not mean I do not like to write for the other ones, though. Please, though, in case any of them is working here, oh, please, though, I like to write for everybody, but Log Rocket is my favorite. So how much time and effort do you put into pushing your publisher? Interesting. So, okay, so this is actually funny, but what I do most times is most of my articles I write them under an hour. That's like after watching Yoruba movies, specifically for motivation. And after I write, I publish them. I just share them. Interestingly, I have like a few good followers I retweet. So I just do not do most pushing. My work speaks for itself. So when I write an article, I have people that know that yes, this content is going to be good, and of course, you send it, like share it. So any company that you know that yes, you have CSS3, Smashing Magazine, Log Rocket. We take articles on CSS. Log Rocket is majorly a front end. Log Rocket and Smashing Magazine majorly take content on front end. So yes, CSS, React, Vue, anything, of course. So why would an intro be I've not written for Fauna, but I know someone who's currently writing for them. Does the length of the article affect SEO? Oh, sorry, SEO. Had that before. Oh yes, the length actually does. That's why your article should be too bulky. The minimum I would recommend for an article should be at least 750. The maximum should be at most 10,000 words. Honestly speaking, because you don't want to bore your readers. I personally do not read my articles I write, and I
Okay.
don't read articles. So the best thing is for you to, you know, write minimum 750 and the maximum at most 5,000. They just go too long, 10,000, but I will not advise it. Please not Senori, please, please, please. I mean, I watch old Yoruba movies, in case you want some recommendations, movies from the 1990s and early 2000s. Thank you. My personal blog is, oh, thank you very much. I just write on problems I solve once in a while. Thank you. Thank you. Mm, 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 mm. So I do not really write on Medium. I used to write on Medium, but not anymore. But instead, I write on my Substack. I You ever get a bad writing experience? Bad writing experience. Bad writing. Honestly, I have not gotten any bad writing experience yet. This is because I tend to, interact with my editors slightly, and maybe because I actually am not new to the game. So if an editor wants to also be like maybe smarty, for example, I will take my time to calm down and do as he wants. They say the customer is always right. So you need to be patient. You need to get more money actually. So yes, I'm leaving to my personal blog. How did you know people would pay you to write? I get to the point I believe in writing short. Okay, so interesting. Like I said, I first started technical writing at it was my mentor then in 2017 that told me to write about how I built a particular tool then at Scotch. So Scotch.io was, I don't know if it was putting you then, but then I found it on Twitter. I actually did not know they pay people to write for them. So I just wrote community posts there. And, you know, when I found out that they do pay people to write for them, I sent in an application. Then they were paying $150 to write. So I sent an application like 3 times and it got rejected. I think that's the only rejection I've gotten since I started web dev. Yes. So it got rejected like 3 times. And after that, so I stopped writing for at the community posts there. So in 2018, the manager for guest authors at or Zero now like sent me a message on Twitter asking me to write that they'll pay me times so what Scotch to pay me. So I was like surprised and I believed in myself, like of course I studied this writing thing, so yes, I should get paid for it. So yes, I got paid for it. Point. Did I say dev authors? The manager of like technical guest technical authors, like you surely have a manager. He was my editor too, and I actually learned a lot under him. So he was manager of the guest writing platform at that point. So it was one that sent me a message in 2018, and that was like the first step into like writing majorly for a company. And I think that actually helped me in like getting other jobs. So that's Odd Zero. I only wrote 2 articles for them because the process there was just too exhausting. The first article took like 3 months, and the second took like another 3 months, and I was like, well, that's that. So yes, I did learn a lot from Obzero. I don't really know about Fauna, but probably. Uh, well, basically, I cannot promise you 100% of my time. But yes, please, if you have anything, you can always like text me on Twitter. I'll always be sure to answer. Yes, so I think that's a yes. Yeah. Sure. If you have any issues, you can just like hit me up on Twitter and I'll like think you're welcome. And then please, in case anybody wants to text me, please I beg you, please, I am actually very small. I would not like to I don't like the use of sir, please, it is somehow. And my Twitter is always locked. Honestly, yes, I don't really tweet about tech on my Twitter. It's mostly shit posts there, the pictures of myself and retweeting and fighting. But well, you can send a request and I will take. And I do not prefer boss as my senior man. Nothing. Just call me. I'll do. How do I handle PayPal? Okay, yeah. So for PayPal, yeah, that is a problem. I think some people use Zoom. I think some people use Zoom PayPal, but I have like one that changes PayPal for me. Sure. So I have like an intermediary ability change. No, no, no. It's not a service. It's someone I know that uh, you know, something like that. So it depends on who wants to pay via PayPal. I have someone that uses like PayPal email, then gives me the equivalent in Naira. That's just like how it works. Yes. Does not mean some are very good. Some companies like LogRocket, Smashing Magazine pay you directly to your account. I personally like love the LogRocket and sorry, LogRocket like process of paying you. You put your Nigerian bank account and everything, and your money gets wired in a week. Same thing with Smashing Magazine, it gets wired in a week. But some other companies prefer to use PayPal. You could also discuss with your employers to use something different. If they are like, you know, latest guys, you can ask them to use um maybe send cash, that's equivalent of cryptos. However, most of the companies that rise for pay directly to my account. Interns, interns of course not please. I'm looking for an internship too in case anybody wants to take an intern. I'm also available. How can one become better at content writing? It's simple. Write more, ask for feedback, work on your feedbacks. I am always available actually. Always that's like but yes, most times if you send me messages required like on technical writing, I will actually be able to explain and help you. So yes, you can always shoot me, not shoot like shoot, but you can always like send me text about technical writing. I'll do my best to help you whichever way I can.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we can take. Thank you once again, Abdulaziz, for that session.
Thank you very
So we'll
much.
move on to the next one. Our second speaker is here with us. Her name is Daring. Daring is a product designer at ASB Technologies and a community manager at Asa Couture, a community created to further develop the design sector in Nigeria's technology industry. So Darren will be talking to us about UI design today. So Darren, you can start.
Hi guys. I'm not going to lie, I'm super nervous. But hi everybody. I hope you're doing good. Like we said, I would be speaking to you on UI design. 1 second, let me share my screen. Well, wait, can you guys hear me well? Like, let me know if that's okay. Like, can you hear me well?
Yes, you can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, you guys are so nice. Thank you. Hold on. And if you hear noise in the background, please ignore that. I'm at my cousin's place and there are people around. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay, yeah, okay. So let's get started. Yeah, first of all, introduction. I'm Adrian Sodalubafemi. I am a UI UX designer. And basically, today I'm just here to explain the basics of UI UX design and how you can get started and just share tips that would help you on your growth journey. So, yeah. So what is UI, right? I'm just going to read out what I have here. User interface design is a purely digital practice. It considers all the visual interactive elements of a product interface, including buttons, icons, spacing, typography, color schemes, and responsive design. So the summary of all this is that UI is basically just the visual of it's basically just the visual interface, right? Like apps that you look at, websites, platforms, digital platforms, like the typography that's used, the colors, the buttons, all of this is just the visual interface. I hope that's clear. Then for UX, user experience is determined by how easy or difficult it is to interact with the interface elements that the UI designers have created. So what example can I give to explain this? Okay, basically, right, user experience is how users feel when they're using what you have designed. So like I said, UI is, UI, user interface, is just the visuals, it's what it looks like, right? While UX is how it feels like, it's how the users interact with it, it's how, what their experience is like when they're using it. Are they frustrated? Are they elated? Is it easy to use? Is it hard to use? Basically, like, I hope that's fair. And yeah, using real life examples to explain further, like one of my friends' mentors has helped me understand that one of the best ways to understand UI UX concepts is to compare it to everyday life scenarios. So this is like the perfect example that I could find. This is an ATM machine, right? I mean, the ATM, oh Jesus, I said ATM machine. Hey, God, God have mercy. You guys, please have mercy. But yeah, this is an ATM. Please cut that part out. Yeah, the ATM is the interface, right? Like it has an interface. We can see what it looks like. So that's the UI. Yeah, comparing that to UI, that's the UI. But then this is basically like a bad experience because this guy, I mean, he looks average height, almost tall. See, my enemies are emphasizing on this ATM machine. You guys stop. Yeah, this guy is like average height, right? I'm assuming, or tall, average height, not short, sure. But it's hard for him to use the ATM. I almost said ATM machine again. God knows, but shame us. It's hard for him to use the ATM because like he can't even see what he's doing. For him to put his card in is a problem. To see what it is that he wants to do is a problem, right? So this is a bad experience. It has an interface and it has I guess we can say that it has a pretty interface, right? But then the bad UX is just enough to not use it again. I hope like I've made that clear. So yeah, the U in UI UX, as we know, stands for user. So as seen in the previous slide, it's basically impossible for that man to withdraw from the ATM. The only way it could work is if he gets, Jesus, if he gets something tall to stand on, right? And that's absolute stress because like, what's the point of the ATM machine if you cannot use it with ease? Nobody is likely to use it. Like people would probably just like walk past this because it's going to be stress to use. Unlike my mentor, Daniel Abayami, that said that he doesn't mind jumping and doing exercises when he wants to withdraw money. You know, maybe you're like him, but so like likewise in digital design, you have to consider the people that will use what you design. You can't have like great visuals on an interface, but have a bad experience. It will be completely worthless. So yeah, I hope that is clear. So how do you get started as a UI UX designer? Tip 1. Okay, so like everything that I share here today is just based on personal experience, right? So I'm just going to tell you the things that have helped me grow on this journey. So tip 1, build your visual skills, build your visual design skills. And you do this by feeding your eyes and mind with great designs. So the places, like some of what I've listed already, that I usually find inspiration for designs are Dribble, Behance, Twitter, if you follow a lot of amazing designers, Instagram, also following a lot of amazing designers. And there are actually a couple of inspiration platforms that you can find. Maybe at the end of this session, I'll just share links to that so that you could just check them out. But yeah, feeding your eyes with design just helps you, like it helps you build a sense of what good design looks like. So you know this is what good design looks like, right? And you compare it to where the designs that you currently have, and you know that okay, I still have a lot to improve on. I need to improve on my typography choices. I need to improve on my color choices. I need to improve on like understanding white space and all of that, right? So yeah, feed your eyes and mind with great designs. Another tip under like building your visual design skills is like read up on the fundamentals of visual design. So these are the elements and principles of design: hierarchy, line, shape, white space, all these, like there's a whole list, right? So just read up on these. These are the things that make up every visual design that you see. It could be, it doesn't even have to be like user interface designs, like posters and whatever other form of design that there is. Yeah, so understanding the fundamentals of visual design would help you become a better designer. I've actually attached a couple of links here. I did that because I plan to share these slides like at the end so that you could just check out these links and read up on the fundamentals of visual design. And then to put these in practice, right? Because it's not enough to just like read and know what to do. You have to actually apply it. So yeah, you can try out online challenges. And one of the most popular challenges for new UI designers is the daily UI challenge. So this is something that has like a lot of, I don't know if controversy is the word, but people have various opinions on the daily UI challenge. They believe that it doesn't promote product thinking and the application of UX knowledge, which is actually sort of true. But like, I mean, at least helps you build your visual design skills. But on the aspect of like product thinking and application of UX knowledge, this sort of brings me to like my next tip, which is do not neglect the experience. So it's extremely common for new designers to be so wrapped up in making a design look aesthetically good that they completely forget the user experience. At this point, I'm just reading my slides. But anyway, remember the example of the ATM. Yeah, like while there's absolutely nothing wrong with making a design look good, don't trade a good experience for aesthetics. Like I'm all for beautiful designs. Like I love making beautiful things, right? But then do not neglect the experience. So this is like a personal note so that I put, so I remembered an example to give. Someone DM'd me a couple of weeks ago, wanted me to review something he had done for the Daily UI Challenge, which was a music app. Sorry, I'm hearing noise in the background. So whoever that is, switch off their mic, please. Okay, it's distracting. Hello? Anyway, I'll just move on so like I'm not wasting time. But yeah, whoever that is, please, like it's distracting me, so put off your mic, thank you. Yeah, someone sent me a music player design to review, right? And I'm trying to remember what exactly he did. I remember that I gave him this particular advice. He okay, so the design had, I mean, I don't remember clearly, but yeah, I'm just gonna
Ai, ó, no Bruzeira Pelão, famoso 3K, tropa.
almost. Okay, yeah.
Ai, ó,
Wow. Okay. So he did the music player app and he added like, okay, the album, you know, your typical music player app would have like the album cover. Bro. Okay. Your typical music player app will have the album cover, it will have the album name, it will have the artist name.
oh, teacher.
Excuse me, please. Can we unmute our microphones and let the speaker do what she has to do? It's quite distracting, please.
Thank you.
Can you suck my dick, please?
Okay, I'm just going to continue. Yeah, so you have the album cover, you have the album name, you have the song name, you have the album artist, and then you have all the other buttons: play, pause, fast forward, rewind, the scroll bar thing, all of that. So this guy, he wanted to make his music player app different, right? It's like different from the normal or have a square album cover thing. I don't remember what exactly he did, um, I wish I could find it, but then it was weeks ago. He did something completely different, which actually looked extremely nice. It was completely different from the norm. But like for him to achieve what he did, he had to take out the song name. I can't remember. He either took out the song. He took out two of the three things I listed: song name, album name, and yeah, the musician, the artist. I think it was the album name, no, the song name and the musician that he took out, and he only had the album name, which doesn't make sense. That's like bad UX. Like I would want to know what song I'm listening to. I would want to know the artist of the song or who created the song that I'm listening to. But he had to take, well, he didn't have to, but he took those things out because he wanted to achieve like a pretty interface. And I told him that like, if your current layout is not going to work, if your current layout means you have to sacrifice the things that make a good experience, then the layout is not worth it. So while, like I said, there's nothing wrong with making a design look good, do not trade a good experience for pretty aesthetics. I hope that point has been made. Yeah, tip 3, design like you are fulfilling an actual brief. So when working on the daily UI challenge or any other challenge or 4 project, I don't know how to pronounce that word, for anyway, God knows shame us. Approach it like you would approach a real project brief, right? This is what sets you apart from other beginners. And I feel like this is what helped me when I was starting out. So yeah, like all the challenge does is give you prompts and ideas of what to design, but you can choose to do more than they ask you to because they're not actually grading you. It's not like if you do over Sabi, they will say that, okay, you're no longer a UI designer kind of thing. It's like, okay, they tell you to design a music player, right? Usually the daily UI challenges tells you to design like 1 screen or 1 or 2 screens. If they tell you to design a music player, you can choose to design like an entire Spotify kind of app, right? Like there's literally nothing limiting you. And if you approach the challenges from that point of view, just like I said, helps you build your product thinking senses, helps you apply UX knowledge that you might be learning because you're thinking of more than just like the design screens themselves. You're thinking of the actual experience. You're just putting a lot more thought into it. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so like this is sort of linked to this tip, right? Do your research. So like if you're going to do, let's say, like this is my favorite example, like a checkout flow, right? This is day 2 of the daily UI challenge, I think. Design a checkout screen, something like for checking out, right? And one of the most common things that most new UI designers do is that they do this thing. Like I'm not shading anybody, but like just take what you will from this. Like they do this thing where like you have this screen, right? And you have this rectangle block thing on the left, and you have this floating shoe. It's always a shoe, literally always a shoe. Like you have this floating shoe on the left. And then the color of the rectangle is usually like in sync with the shoe color. So if the shoe is pink, right, maybe the color of the rectangle will be gray. Or if the shoe is blue, the color of the rectangle will be yellow, that kind of thing. And then they'll have the name written in big, and they'll have the price of the shoe. Then on the right, they have like the price field, or choose MasterCard or choose Visa, put your card details, and then pay now button. Like that's like the typical daily UI challenge for a checkout screen. But then like when I wanted to do my checkout screen design, right, I actually did research. Like I have Jumia and Congo on my phone. I downloaded a couple of other apps. I went on websites and I went through the entire checkout process to figure out what is a typical checkout process like. Like, I mean, we buy things normally, right? But then before you become a designer, you don't actually take notes of these things. So now that you are invested in like learning how to build products, you have to actually like look at these things from a product designer's point of view. So you have to like go through the flow from scratch, see what it is that they do, understand why it is that they do what it is that they do, and then replicate or improve on that, like what you've learned in your design. So what I would say, like when someone sends me that kind of checkout screen to review, it's like, one, okay, what happens if the user wants to buy more than 1 shoe? Like, I mean, you put 1 shoe and the shoe has filled the entire screen. What if the user was buying 10 shoes and not the same shoe 10 times, like different shoes 10 times? If along the buying a shoe, they're also buying like PS5, or they're also buying Pixel 4a, or they're also buying like a couch or whatever, like what happens? What is your layout going to be like? Are you going to have like all these things floating on the screen? Or are you going to like do what the typical checkout process does, which is like have them like a list with a small image, where are you going to put their names based on what it is that like you've already done. I wish I could go on Dribble and look for examples, but then it's really easy to find. But yeah, and then like the checkout process, they're usually 3 steps, right? First of all, you put your well, now I can't think of which one. Even though I bought something this morning, I don't remember. But like I think first you put like your billing info, right? So your address, or are you doing door-to-door delivery, or are you picking it up at a station or whatever? Like you just like the delivery details, right? That's one step. Then the next step is where you now put in your card details. I mean, your card could already be saved on the platform, or you could be adding new card details, but that's where you put. And then the third step, you have the review or summary screen where you can review your entire order. And if it's like, okay, I put the wrong address, or I put in the wrong card, I wanted to use my Zenith Bank and I used my GT Bank instead, or I put in, or I want to remove like the shoe, I don't want the shoe anymore, I want a couch instead, that kind of thing. Like those are the processes that you need to take into consideration when you are designing. You don't just go and design, because like point blank, most of those things are not usable, like they say, like they will not work in the real world. So yeah, do your research before you jump on any design tool and start designing the day's challenge. Do your research and think through how the process works. Go on similar websites, download similar apps. How do they work? What is the process like? How can that process be improved? Do not design without understanding what you are designing. Yeah, do not design without an understanding of what you're designing. I hope I have made that point very clear. Yeah, beware of tip 5, beware of information overload and imposter syndrome. This is something that I suffer a lot, because like I mean I woke up this morning and I was just like, bro, Jane, what exactly are you doing? Like yesterday I was like, oh Jane, you sabi this work, and today is like, wait, what exactly am I doing with my life? I mean, those things happen, like we cannot lie, they happen. Even like a lot of my mentors, the people that I look up to, they have like told me that they actually go through these days too. So I don't think imposter syndrome is something you can ever defeat. You just have to learn to push on regardless. But on information overload, there are literally so many resources on UI UX that you can find online, especially because like you're not in a particular class, right? Like if you are in school, take secondary school, primary school, for instance, like you go from primary 1 to primary 2 to primary 3 to primary 4. So like at primary 1, you're only exposed to information that you should be exposed to at primary 1. Primary 2, you are exposed to information you should be exposed to at primary 2, like with primary 1. You are not learning what primary 5 people are learning. But then there isn't that grade system or class system in the real world, right? Like we're on Twitter, most of us are online. Like we're exposed to different levels of information. We are interacting with people on different levels. We're friends with people who have been in this for like 6 years, even though we started like 2 months ago. So it's very easy to get like bombarded with a lot of information. It's extremely easy to experience information overload because like there's no set structure, right? But then the advice I would give is that just understand that it's all a process. You cannot expect to go from level 1 to level 100 in a matter of days. It's like one step at a time. So today you learned about information architecture, great, like you are doing great, right? Don't look down on yourself because you don't know what affinity mapping is. And me, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what affinity mapping is yet. But like there's just be happy with where you are, but be but desire to grow, desire to learn more. But don't kick yourself in the butt because you are not where someone who started 10 years ago is. You're not going to help yourself that way. This is something that really a lot of designers struggle with, especially beginners, and I just wanted to address that. Yeah. Share your work. So like as scary as it may be, sharing your work online exposes you to a lot of other designers. A lot of the people that I currently have in my circle, I got to know them because I posted my work online and they found out that I was a designer. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and they got to find out I was a designer. So like perfect example of this is one of my closest friends, Daniel Abayami Pixel Dan. When I redesigned the AnyBooks app, like my first version of the AnyBooks redesign, I posted this on Twitter, and he commented on it. Like I don't think I was following him before that time, but I knew him and I knew he was a great designer, and I had looked up to him. Right? He commented on my design, and he was like, "Oh, great job!" But I have a couple of comments. Do you mind if I DM you for feedback? And he did, and like this was like probably exactly a year ago, right? And since then, we've been amazing friends. He's my friend, he's my mentor, all of that. So it's like, posting your work on Twitter, like, or whatever other social media platform. I say Twitter because like I'm more active on Twitter. It exposes you to a lot of other designers. You make friends, you build relationships, you develop mentors, all of that, and you just like get in touch with the people that you need to get in touch with that will help you on your journey, on your growth journey, right? And then it also helps people see what you do. So like if you put your work out there, you'll be the first or one of the first people that will come to the minds of like people when they need something done or know who needs something done. So like, I mean, the phrase comes to mind, closed mouth don't get fed. If nobody knows what it is that you do, nobody is going to hire you, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that point has been made. Community. Sorry, somebody is, okay, thank you. Community. No man is an island. Communities are extremely important in every area of life. So like join a design community. I usually talk about like, I mean, well, if you're on Twitter, you usually hear the phrase design Twitter. And like some people message me like, oh, how do I join design Twitter? Like it's not an official community per se. Sorry, you're distracting me, Digi. Bye. Sorry, that was my cousin. It's not like an official community that is like, okay, please invite me to this community. Like for me, the way I see it is once you're a designer, you are automatically part of design Twitter. You're a designer and you're on Twitter and design Twitter. You just need to like mingle more, let people know that you are a designer. Like I said, share your work, engage in design discussions. Don't be controversial, but like pay attention to and engage in conversations about design. You will learn a lot. Befriend designers, interact with them. So like I gave some of examples of people that you could follow on Twitter. Like these are not individuals, but like community kind of things, right? People who are dedicated to helping designers grow and sharing information that will be helpful to designers. Yeah, Asha Kotiri is one of them. You can follow Asha Kotiri on Twitter. After the slides, I'll just like post all the links in the chat box. Dear Designer, follow Dear Designer on Twitter as well. They do amazing work. Design Jobcaster, they have a Twitter account and they also have a Telegram group that anybody can join. So you could join them on Telegram and you just like be exposed to lots of amazing designers on different like levels. Yeah, but definitely join the community. Then be loud. This is like my most important tip, which is like sort of the same as like share your work. So I don't have like a 5-step process that I can tell you to follow when it comes to marketing your skills. I can literally only tell you what I did, what worked for me, which is be loud, right? Like be loud about what you do. Share your work, post your work. Like, how do I put this in a way? Like I know that it sort of depends on your personality type. Like I'm the kind of person that wherever I am, well, it depends. I'm not like this in person, please. In person, I'm shy, but online. I'm the kind of person that wherever I am, like you will know that I'm there, Sha, because I'm always making noise. I'm a noise maker, basically. But you know, like everybody knows that I do UI design. Everybody knows that I use Figma. Like I'm very loud about things that I'm passionate about. And I know that that's not everybody's personality type. But when it comes to your work, you have to make it your personality type. I mean, you have to make it your work personality type. Be loud about what you do, right? Be loud about the things that you're passionate about. Let people know that this is what you do and let people know that you are good at it because you believe that you are good at it. This is how you're going to get like opportunities, right? This is how opportunities are going to come to you. Like the thing that you don't always have to look for opportunities, right? I mean, you do in life, but then in my experience, you don't actually always have to look for opportunities. A lot of the opportunities that I have like gotten since I started, I didn't go looking for them. They literally came to me because I was loud. So like even when I was just 1 month or 2 months in UI design, I literally had people saying, oh, Darren, would you like to join this team? Oh, Darren, would you like to get this job? Oh, Darren, would you like to work on this project? I mean, I turned most of them down at the time because I didn't think I was good enough. But then like, that's not the point. The point wasn't whether I was good enough. The point is that like, because I was loud about what it is that I did, people came to me. So if you want that kind of opportunity, if you want this kind of opportunity, you have to be loud about what you do. You can't be quiet and expect people to come to you. Yeah. Enjoy the journey. Do not compare yourself to anybody. Your race is yours and yours alone. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. I want, like, in fact, I'm going to read it again so it will enter your head. Like, listen very well. Enjoy the journey. do not compare yourself to anybody. Your race is yours. Your race is yours alone. It's only you that you're fighting against, right? Your only competition is who you were yesterday. So don't look at other people who maybe you started at the same time, like all of you started UI design in the same month, and you think that, oh, they're already on level 10 while I'm still on level 5. Like, no, it's none of that, right? Everybody learns at different rates. Everybody grows at different rates. Like, your journey is yours alone. It's literally not a competition, right? Like, your race has nothing to do with somebody else's race. Your race has nothing to do with your race. Focus on yourself. Focus on your growth. Don't let like the progress or lack of progress of anybody make you feel happy or like sad. Focus on yourself. Am I better than I was yesterday? If I compare my where I am now as a designer to where I was last week, how much progress have I made? If I compare where I am now as a designer to where I was last year, how much progress have I made? Yeah, that's basically what your attention should be on. And yeah, any questions? Does anybody have any questions? I'm ready.
Then
I
this is another. Okay, so you made mention of talking about saying the
yeah.
loud. So I really understand that that is one of the things you try doing on the media, and so how do you cope in a situation like a lot of people know you for when a lot of people expect like they expect things from you, the form of expectation from you since they know you do this, you do that. Do you understand? So how do you cope where the expectation can be met at some point, or you just feel
Okay.
oh, people are expecting a lot from me, and I really have to just meet up. Do you understand? I don't know if you are getting that question.
Honestly, not really. Can you rephrase?
Okay, so you were talking about being loud, and I didn't understand that is one thing you do on the media. So
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm trying to say I believe people have a lot of expectation from you, like your designs, your uh the way you see things, the way you understand things, you understand. So for instance, now you are not able to meet those expectations. Let's talk about designs now. You're not able to meet some expectations in designs. How do you feel? Have you ever feel how do you tackle that situation? Do you understand? How
Just like I'm getting you clear, you mean like if people expect a certain standard from you and you
exactly
don't meet those standards? Do you mean like generally, people generally, or if you get a particular job, or what do
people
you
general and a
generally?
particular job, anyone generally particular job from admirers and all.
Uh, okay, well, this is actually something I struggle with a lot. If I'm being honest, like this entire UI Queen name and Figma Man name that you people like to call me, I know I call myself it first, right? But like a lot of the time, I feel like I don't actually match up. Like you guys expect more from me than I actually can give. But it's so for me. I don't know if this answers your question. I hope it does. But for me, it's sort of like motivation, right? It's like, okay, these people actually believe in me. People see something in me that I don't see in myself. If they expect those standards of me, then that means there's something that I have done, whether presently or in the past, that makes them believe that I am capable of those standards. So I just need to see that in myself, right? I just need to see myself in the light that people see me. I just need to, and even if maybe they are mistaken, I just need to believe that I am able to get there, and I can and I will. I may fail sometimes, I may fall short sometimes. Nobody's perfect. You can't be perfect all the time. But then just believe that you will get there. I hope that helps. Does that make sense?
Mm. So there's no need to be afraid and just take away the fear. Okay, so another question, sorry. So talking about your UX.
Sorry to cut you short. Please, would appreciate if you type your questions in the chat box so Jane
Okay,
can read them from there.
Okay.
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 Thank
I just saw something about, like, I'm scrolling through the chat box and I just saw someone asking if we'll be getting the slides after the session. Yes. Let me just get the link now and post it. Okay, so I just posted the link. You should get the slides from there. I just saw someone like say that they're really scared of sharing their works. I don't know if like maybe people in the comments have already addressed this, but I'll still talk on it. Like I totally understand, especially like design Twitter is a ruthless place. People are very angry on design Twitter. I'm not going to lie, like they're very angry. I don't know what offended them, but like any small thing, they're dragged. But then something that I told someone recently was that first of all, who are you targeting when you share your works? I mean, I know I said that like sharing your works exposes you to other designers, right? But then at the same time, like your main target audience is the clients that you want to know that you want them to know. So English language. You want these clients to know that this is what you do. Yes, I got it. They are your main target audience, right? So when you're sharing your work, while getting feedback from other designers is nice and is recommended, also share your work with those people in mind. So like your main goal is to get feedback or is to let people know that this is what you do. So yeah, again, like I said, I know design Twitter is very ruthless and all of that, but at the same time, negative comments are helpful, right? I mean, some people are just plain rude in how they give comments, and I know it's not easy to just like shoulder, like let all that slide off your shoulder, or how do they say it? But just I don't know, take the good, right? Like the good comments you get, the good feedback, constructive feedback that you get, take it. The feedback that isn't so helpful, just like discard it. Don't let it like get to you. Just take what you need and what you can to improve. Ignore anything else that's detrimental to your growth. Yeah, I understand the fear of sharing your works, but don't let that hold you back. Still scrolling. Yeah, you see someone that will kill your energy, but don't let them do it. Like literally, that means that you will win. You let them win. Getting zero comments on the design post. Okay, I'm getting this because people tag me on designs and I always comment, right? And I saw that I don't know. Usually, I'm extremely busy. I might be working and I may have just gone on Twitter and I see tag me on the post, but I don't have to actually sit down and review it, right? Usually what I would do, and I don't do this all the time, I'm going to try and like be more deliberate about doing it. Then I would say like, okay, I have feedback based on the work that you share. But like if literally you get zero comments on the design post, don't let that discourage you. Because one thing I realized is that when I started out, people were always commenting on works, right? Like people back then, I mean, this was a year ago, things are different now, sort of. But then you would always find people in the comment section telling you what you could have done better. But then now everybody is so sensitive. If you say the wrong thing, someone can literally decide that they're not going to be a designer anymore. It's that bad. So most people just decide that they're not going to bother giving comments at all, right? Yeah, most people decide that they're not just going to bother giving comments at all, which isn't good per se, because like now we are not encouraging growth. I grew to the level that I'm at because like people gave feedback on my work. But then going by the way things are now, instead of just like posting it on Twitter, post it and like send it to people that you know will answer you in their DMs and ask for reviews. So like in this community that I'm a part of, people said that what most of these senior in quotes designers think is that like if you post the work and you do not ask for feedback and it's like, okay, see what I did, like they're not going to give you feedback, because it's like your reason for posting it is not because you wanted feedback, which is like sort of true because you haven't made that clear. Your reason for posting it isn't because you wanted to get feedback. Your reason for posting it was because you wanted to like show people that, oh, this is what I've done, and like you guys should praise me for it, right? That's why they don't give feedback. So usually that's like why there's usually no comment under any design that maybe someone posts. So if you want real feedback, actionable feedback, DM them. There are people who are nice. I mean, you can DM me. I consider myself a very nice person. I hope that I'm nice. You guys, am I nice? But like there are people who are nice, right? DM those people that are nice. The people that you know are rude, ignore them. Just leave them. Get feedback from them. They will definitely respond to you when they can. if they can't, it's not because they don't want to, it's because they like easily busy with work and deadlines. But just like don't give up, don't let that discourage you. That's my point. How will you be loud when you have imposter syndrome? Well, I'm loud and I have imposter syndrome, so like I don't know. um, I wish Charles was here. Charles like is like your master on imposter syndrome. I'm actually not sure how to answer this question. How will you be loud when you have imposter syndrome? I would just say like be loud regardless of the imposter syndrome. I don't know if that helps, if that makes sense, because I know imposter syndrome can hold you back, but then be loud regardless of it, right? Just push past it. Or again, like I would recommend messaging Charles Njoku on Twitter at Made by Charles. He is like the master on this topic, so he'll probably have more insights to share. I guess. Do I need a personal assistant? I do. I actually do, because things are hard. Very loud when you have intro. Okay. Okay, yeah, Kofo already answered this. Just ignore people, basically. Ignore people. People are mean. How do you start as an absolute beginner? What are the tools and materials you need? Like I said, I've already shared the slide, so you could just like go through the things I put in my slide. Learn the fundamentals of visual design. I would tell you to sign up for the daily UI challenge. Like not everybody will recommend that, but I would sign up for a daily UI challenge. I'm going to post the link now. 1 second. Like I've created a couple of resources here. I mean, this can actually cause information overload, but so you have to be careful. But then like in that link that I just sent, so there are a couple of resources that you can find on UI, UX, and whatever other form of design that there is, but like it's mostly UI, UX because that's my field. You can find things there that will help you, articles, resources, and all of that. So like do the daily UI challenge, the tips that I've shared in this session, just like learn from them. I guess like all the things I said, do not neglect the experience, do your research, all of that. Apply that in your daily UI challenge and just like watch yourself grow. Take on personal projects, look around you and like, okay, what problem can I solve? I mean that's a very generic thing to say because like that's what everybody says, but like literally just look around you. What are the things that like I can solve with design and just work on that. And there are also in this link where you'd find different challenges, like there's a page for challenges. So like not just the daily UI challenge, you'll find a lot of other challenges that actually promote UX thinking and product thinking as well. So yeah, just check that out. Tools and materials that you need. I mean, I would recommend Figma because I'm Figma man, so like I have to do my ambassador duties. I'll recommend Figma or Adobe XD, whatever design tool that you feel like you'll be more comfortable with. Again, Figma, but Figma maybe. Yeah, like that's really all you need. Design tool, Figma. What other design would we use? I mean, beginner, I think that's actually all you need. And the resources. Are you hiring intern? Please, intern. Like, I need someone like I'm internships. I said someone should just look at say there's that's an important thing. Is there a way for more people to see your designs on Twitter? I'm probably the most inactive person. Well, low-key. This thing actually depends on your following, like how many people follow you. And if you have supportive friends who like retweet your designs and like, I mean, you know how Twitter works. One person retweets something and it gets into the other person's TL and all of that. Yeah, just like follow, I would advise follow designers, just follow like a lot of designers, people who, I have this thread. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I have this thread where I tagged a lot of designers that I look up to. 1 second. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. So like, yeah, like I said, I have this thread where there are a lot of designers that I look up to. You can follow them. Some of them follow you back. Some might not. Okay, I just found it. Some of them follow you back. Not all of them will. But yeah, like that would just get you exposed to the entire design Twitter in quotes thing. And they would see your designs if they follow you back. You can tag them on designs if you want to, DM them, just like build your network, right? So like as you build your network, more people will see your design when you post them and retweet it, and then more people will see your design when you post them and all of that. Yeah, I mean, not. I think I answered the not so many followers too fast. During, were you a graphic designer before you moved to UI? Because I feel like I should be good at graphic design before moving ahead. This is like, I cannot answer this question. I wish Chris was here. This is like Chris Philemon's or Shion Badijo's field, right? I would say that I skipped a lot of the basics, and I'm not recommending anyone to do that. I personally just skipped a lot of the basics when I got started. But was I a graphic designer? I don't know. Was I? I mean, I could use Photoshop and I could design stuff, right? Like I used to be a photographer, so I got started with design because like as a photographer, I took event pictures and I needed to make all these like put all these pictures in the photo book for my clients. So I had to design like the layout of the photo book and I had to design the cover of the photo book. So that's what me started with Photoshop. And then after a while, I just started doing like, I had this clothing line thing. So like designing designs for my clothing line, designing for social media, just basically what I consider myself was someone who knew how to use Photoshop for things other than photo editing. I didn't learn like the whole basics of graphic design. I didn't learn the entire typography thing and colors, but I would recommend that you do because it will help you, like it will put you at an advantage over people who did not. But yeah, I don't know. See, if you know me on Twitter, please like ask me this question again on Twitter and then I'll tag the people that I believe can actually answer the question. How is it working with developers? Okay, so like I do not have an answer for this because I have not directly worked with any developer before. So like I'm skipping that question. The designers need to know how to code. Skipping this question because you people want to cause fights on this call. It's not gonna happen. How do I present my work so sharing on social media? Well, I'm not sure if this is answering your question, but like one thing that people do is that they use this mock-up thing, like isometric mock-up. I think that's what it's called. And I did it too. Like I did this as well. So I think I even still do this. So I cannot even shade it. But like they do this isometric mock-up thing where like you can't actually, you post the design on Twitter in that mock-up and it's like, oh, review, but like we can't actually see we can't actually see the screens, right? It's like you're asking us to review the layout of the mock-up, not the screens of the actual design. So one, just like, I don't know how you're going to do it, but like just make your designs clear, like easy to see. If you have to break it into like more than one image, like it's 3-4 images with like 2 screens on each image. Like Twitter allows 4 images, right? So 2 or 3 screens standing straight on each image. If you have to do that, I mean 3 times 4, 12, right? So like we have 12 screens to look at. Yeah, I mean something that people can see because people are like, you want people to look at the actual design, not the mock-up. I hope that like makes sense. That's clear. Or you can just literally just post the screens without them being in the mock-up. Like there's no rule really. How do you start? Okay, I already answered this question. Being loud is hard if you care about people shy. Yep, extremely hard. I understand that. How can I? Okay, answer this. Should beginners look for internship or work on themselves first? Okay. I don't know if this person's still on this call. Let me check. Are you still on this call? Sissy Sheriff. Okay, yeah. For Sissy, I hope I pronounced that well. What is the question? Should beginners look for internship or work on themselves first? Can you please rephrase this question? Like, I want to fully understand what you mean when you say work on themselves first, so I can answer well. Do you have to know graphic design before you're doing UI UX? Like I said, just ask me this question on Twitter, and I'll tag you to the people who like can answer this question very well. Check Twitter as a whole is scary. So check out the angle on you. I agree though. Check Twitter is very scary. How do I join UI UX design community? Okay, so let me just get the links of like these people that I mentioned. And I'll post it there. You can just like, they have a, what did I say? Where is this? Okay, Design Jobcaster has a Telegram group, like I said. Their designer is like just, it's not a community per se. I mean, it's a Twitter community, but it's not like a group chat that you can join. But just following them is already like being a part of the community. So yeah, follow them. Asha Koteri. There's also this Telegram group that I'm in. I don't remember product design books. No, that's not product club. Actually can't remember. I'll try and find it. They share books there. They talk about different things, and they have like monthly book readings kind of thing. I mean, I haven't participated because I'm not on Telegram that much, but I mean, it seems pretty cool. Do you believe everyone can be a designer? I mean, people might actually be very uncreative. Is that something you can build? See, this is me. This is the question that I was asking the people that I looked up to when I first started. It's the question I'm still asking them because I don't consider myself a creative person, right? But then the answer they told me that you build creativity. So, like I said, in like the first tip, build or develop your visual design skills, and you do this by looking at good design, right? So if you feed yourself with good design long enough, you know what good design is supposed to look like, and you're able to like combine elements from all these different places that you've gathered the inspiration from and come up with something cool, creative. I hope that helps. Not everyone knows what constructive criticism is. I don't know if you are saying this like in relation to like the people giving the criticism or the people receiving the criticism. That's another word, criticism. See, English is hard, but allow me. Yeah, not everyone knows what constructive criticism is on both ends. Again, like just because like someone did not give you a good review, because I know like everybody's sensitive these days, right? But just because someone didn't give you a good review on your work doesn't mean that they gave you like a bad review, like a negative review. Because it's not what you expected doesn't mean that it's oh, the person was being rude. There are people who are definitely like rude when they're giving reviews. I'm not going to dispute that. There are definitely those people, right? But my own is just like take the thing that works, take what they said that makes sense, and just like ignore everything else. It's hard, it's not easy, but I mean it's what you have to do, especially if you want to grow. So they just open my mouth and say nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying we need to round up very soon. So if she hasn't answered your question, you can just go over to her Twitter and
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us on this call. Really
Thank,
appreciate it.
thank you for having me.
Okay, so that's all. If you have any questions, you can just send a DM to the speakers on their Twitter. They've dropped their handles on the screen. So now we'll just have a quick Slido game and then we'll round up the session for today. I'll send the link to the chat box now. So I've sent the event code to the chat box. Let's join now so we can round this up fast. The quiz starts in exactly 1 minute from now. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. The program continues tomorrow by 11 a.m. and tomorrow we'll be looking at data science and artificial intelligence. So please join the call tomorrow as well. Thank you so much. Also, if you've been enjoying the event so far and you know someone who would also benefit from this program, you can just tell them to register.